I was on a podcast once where, like, one of us ate a chip, and then it was like, crunch. And then it turned into all of us taking a chip and trying to make really good crunch noises. So,
And that was the beginning of the podcast, probably.
basically, yeah.
That's a good way to start it. Almost like we're starting it right now. Are we?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there I go. Yeah, it's a Video Game Break podcast. I'm Carlos Rodello, and I'm eating pizza, and I'm sorry. I was eating pizza last podcast, and I'm also sorry for that.
Not really.
But not really. Today I have with me Evie Powell.
Hello.
Hello. We just got old-timey for a minute.
Oh?
Hello. Or at least I did.
Oh, okay.
I met you at Video Game Developer Night where we drink alcohol or something.
Yes. I remember alcohol.
It happened.
Yeah. That happened. Yeah, that's pretty good.
And you do video game stuff?
I do. So I recently started my own company, Verge of Brilliance. And so, yeah, that started back in August. And since then, I've been doing a few contracts, working on a couple of internal projects. I'd say that the core of what I do is, like, I mess around with experimental gameplay.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So it's something I've carried on from, like, the research I did while I was in school. I really enjoy it. There's, like, a project that's out on the iPhone called Table Tilt, where you can just sort of everyone compares it to Space Team.
Oh, okay.
Although, yeah, it's not like the same at all. But it's like you've got four devices, iPhone devices, and you can share the entire puzzle platform, having one puzzle platform across the four devices. So it's like there's a giant table that the four devices are made of. And you can roll a ball from one device onto another one, and you're solving puzzles to work together, do it as fast as possible. So, yeah, that's a thing.
That's what you made.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems cool because Space Team was fun. I know it's definitely different kind of a thing because you're like flying a spaceship and like weird alien goos happening.
Yeah.
But that is
love
cool
it.
that you can do puzzle across the devices. That's fun.
Yeah. It was a project I started back in school. And so, now I'm working on revising it, revamping it, adding more levels, all of that stuff. You can still find the researchy versions on the App Store, but expect bigger and better.
Yes.
Awesome.
That seems fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can go download it now for free, right?
Yeah.
The researchy versions, you should call them.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, here we have another person.
I am another person. I'm Kinsey, and I'm back again.
I was about to do the intro for you.
Party on, party
then-
people.
Took it over for you.
You took it over, okay.
I'm drinking beer, and I'm not sorry.
Right,
and-
you shouldn't be.
No, don't be sorry about that.
Yeah.
And I'm drinking some wonderful locally brewed Elysian split shot espresso milk stout, which is wonderful.
Haven't you had that on the podcast before? I feel like you might have.
Maybe. It's a seasonal for like right now.
Oh,
so
right.
maybe the last time I was on, I was drinking it. It's entirely possible.
Yeah.
That sounds so fancy.
It does.
Yeah.
It's not.
Oh,
But, I mean, it is fancy if Elysian wants to sponsor the Video Game Break podcast, then it's so fancy.
I think we might have
Yeah.
asked them before, but we should ask them
Several times.
Every time, yeah.
Yeah.
Also fancy is the drink that I gave Evie, which is my new fancy soda. I'm trying to cut out Coca-Cola and sodas that have high fructose corn syrup and terrible things in them. So I'm drinking this stuff called Cola with a K.
Yeah.
And
Sorry.
it's-
Are you sure it's not Q Cola? Because there's
is
like
that-
a Q.
Oh, there is
right
a
here.
Q there. Maybe it
Yeah,
is that.
I think
I
it's
should look
Q
it up.
Cola with a K.
Okay, then that's also correct.
Yeah.
That just reminds me of like, oh, it's crab with a K.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you're right. It's part of a line of drinks called Q Drinks.
There you go.
And I gave you one because you saw them and thought they might be tasty. And what do you think?
I earned it. Yeah, it's pretty good. I love the packaging. It's so
pretty.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a cursive script all over everything, and there's like flowers blooming. Yeah, it's beautiful. And on the bottom it says superior cola.
Yeah, it's like
Ooh.
it's like touting itself as being like, let's
Yes.
guess what? Pepsi and Coke. We
Yeah.
are the real deal.
Yeah, I feel so entitled. Like,
It's a very fancy drink for fancy times. For
Yeah.
Centauri times.
And fancy people.
And fancy people deserve fancy drinks, like all of us.
Yeah.
I'm having that same cola in a fancy glass with a fancy ice cube and some whiskey.
anyone that knows me that knows I'm super fancy. Yeah.
There you go. Well, let's talk about fancy things that are video games. That didn't work. Anyways, that's the worst segue.
Games can be fancy.
They can be.
Have you met
can.
Mr. Hattie Haddington?
Oh, right.
All fancy.
All fancy all the time.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
well, here's the part where we talk about video games we're playing. Oh, wait, before we start, we do the 30 seconds introduction
Introduction is fine.
of each person who goes on the podcast who's never been here before. That's you.
Okay.
So we're going to do 30 seconds. Tell the whole listening world about yourself. Go.
Okay. I feel like I already did this, but like
Do it
okay.
again.
So 30 seconds.
Yeah, go.
Yeah. I started in school. I went to school at UNC Charlotte. Did a lot of games research there. Graduated with a PhD. Moved to the West Coast to do Microsoft. Did Microsoft for a few years, and then decided to go off and do my own company. And that's what I'm doing right
Yep.
now, and I love it.
That's perfect.
Yay!
Yay, that was awesome. Yeah, that was perfect.
Cool.
PhD over here. Talk
I
about
know.
fancy.
It's a PhD in game design.
That's
that is
games
super,
fancy. Yeah.
super fancy. Yeah, everyone's just like, why? Like, what?
And you're like,
what
why
on
not?
Earth?
Why-
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I'm calling
Why
it fancy
not?
for real. Not
Yeah,
like
right.
haha fancy. Like, seriously.
You're a doctor of video games.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
kind of,
One of
like my dream. I can't function over here that's a thing.
Yeah.
I know most people are just like that's a thing. Like, yeah, there was a games research lab, and we like studied games, and we studied like I studied socially pervasive games, but starting out, I did educational games. So games that like promote broadening participation across like minorities and women and things like that. So
I like
that was,
all of what's happening
I know.
right now.
I
That's
know,
cool.
right? So cool. So.
Well, that's
Yeah, I
awesome.
started out with education and serious games, and then sort of made a gradual migration over to pervasive and mobile game experiences. And so everything I am about is all experimental and next generation. That's all the stuff that I'm interested in.
And I think that's why you probably were talking at that event, because I was like, this sounds interesting.
Yeah,
Because you liked all the interesting parts of video games that I like,
yeah,
which is experimental. Weird stuff.
the weird stuff.
Try the weird stuff.
I'm all about the weird stuff.
I'm all about the weird stuff is the name of this podcast.
Yeah.
That is definitely...
It
sounds
awful.
a little weird, though.
I like weird stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, it's not that weird, but I just came to my head, so I'm saying it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I recently played Samba de Amigo again
Oh, yeah.
for the Dreamcast because the Wii one,
No.
I don't like it. Anyway, so I played the Dreamcast one, and if you play the arcade mode, I was amazing.
Oh, wait.
One
so-
player mode, not as amazing, but arcade mode.
Are you just telling us that you're really good at a game? Is that
That's-
what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Kinda
making
what I'm
sure.
doing.
Yeah.
Can you explain this game to me? Because I feel like I've heard of it before, and it's ridiculous, but I don't
It is
remember.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Well,
like what is this? What is this?
It is a pioneer of motion gaming
Ooh.
because it's for the Dreamcast.
Is it maracas?
Yes.
Oh my god, I do
know.
remember
It's
this.
amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it has this little like pad that you stand on because it has the motion sensors in the top of the pad.
Yes.
And then you have maracas, and it's basically it's a rhythm game, but it's like you can go in the middle with the two, or there's like two spaces up above you can go, or two down below.
Yes.
And it does different combinations of like those things, and that's what you have to match
Yeah.
to the beat.
Yes.
Yes.
It's kind of
And
amazing.
cute characters.
And adorable. That's where Samba came from.
Yeah.
I don't think that's his name.
Oh, yeah.
The monkey.
Yeah.
You're like so authoritatively saying that. That's where Samba... No, never mind. I don't know.
No, maybe that is. No, that is his name because he was in the Sonic racing game that nobody played. No, it was all right. I mean,
Now I remember why I actually know about this game too, because like I remember talking to a friend of mine and thinking, "Oh my gosh, we should make a game about maracas." And we're shaking them, and he's like, "Oh no, that already exists." I was like, "There's no way There's no way that exists.
It does.
It's like, yeah, it exists.
Yeah, it's already done.
Yeah, no, and that's a wonderful thing because that's
it's good.
Yeah.
it's so an obvious conclusion with like movement and
rhythm. Yeah,
things.
I mean, I remember the
Yes.
arcades having certain arcades I would go to have the the guitar ones, but then they had the turntable ones. And the keyboard ones, like keyboard rhythm games.
I am a master at all of those.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I like
do a little of that.
DJ Hero. Yeah, we should. Absolutely.
GameWorks still does that here in Seattle.
GameWorks
Has
has
a ton of those things. I think
they have
still.
Guitar
so
Freak.
much time. Yes. I spend so much time there and playing Taiko Drum Master.
Oh my god,
Oh,
Taiko
yeah.
Drum
yes.
Master.
Don't even.
Whoa!
Sorry.
Hello. That's okay.
The same night I played Samba, we played Taiko.
Nice.
And because I have it on I have 2 drums on the PS2, so you can play 2-player.
Yep.
And it was kind of amazing. Not as amazing as the one at GameWorks, although usually at GameWorks you can only play 1 player because the other one's broken. Like 95% of the time.
True.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
People do get all crazy and physical with them. So
Yeah. I love the one at GameWorks because it's like Taiko size.
Yeah.
So you can go all crazy with
God,
it.
it's amazing.
It's funny. I was on a Taiko team in school.
whoa!
Yeah. I know
This
how to
story
play.
gets more
I
interesting
know how
as
to
it
play
goes.
Taiko. Yeah.
All right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's all
I
about
don't
it.
want to challenge you now.
When
Yeah. You shouldn't.
when I worked at
really
an
good.
Asian grocery store for a few years,
Uh-huh.
I watched a lot of Taiko drummers, and I was like, I love that game on PS2, and they're like, what? And I'm like, oh, my dreams are shattered.
Oh, you don't know what I'm talking about. Besides Taiko, which it sounds like you're very good at, what else are you playing, like video game wise?
Well, let's see. I haven't really been picking up too many newer games lately. I think the last one that I played that was brand new, or brand new to me, was The Walking Dead Season 2 Telltale games. Yeah,
Telltale's
it
so
was so good.
And
The second
specifically
season.
Walking Dead. Still, to me,
Yeah.
my favorite of the games. Here's where Kinsey
Yeah.
says she doesn't know what we're talking about.
Well, okay. So, in my defense, I really like Telltale. I mean, The Wolf Among Us was like one of my favorite games of this year or last year. God, it's 2015, guys. What
Yeah, I know.
the hell?
Last year.
And like Sam and Max, even Back to the Future and Jurassic Park, and so far Tales from the Borderlands and Game of Thrones. But The Walking Dead is one of those that everybody absolutely loves, and I've never played it.
Because you have problems and you're a bad person.
Yeah.
Even though you preloaded that with all that positive stuff,
Yeah.
you still need to play it. Yeah, so you're playing season 2. Season 1 was fun, of course.
Yeah. So I've played season 2. I played all of it,
Yeah.
and oh my goodness, even better somehow. I think that one of the things that I really like was that I never felt like I had a handle on what was going on. Season 1, I felt like I was making all the right calls. Most of my party stayed alive. I was doing things like there was one episode in season 2 where I just picked up my controller and I threw it because it just ended in catastrophe. And I was just like,
And that's how you have to go with. You have to be like, that's the story now.
that's the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like everything I would do to try to like course correct and make it better was just making it worse. And it was just like, oh well, I lost this person, so maybe it was just a trade. I had to choose between this person and this person. It was like, no, 5 minutes later, the other one died too.
Yeah.
and I'm just like, oh, I'm just so terrible at life.
Well,
Yeah.
they made it darker and harder in that way. I think, like you said, definitely the first season, I felt there was a couple moments you're like, decide between this person and this person.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I know how I'm going to maneuver this, so I'm going to pick this person. You know.
Yeah.
But in the second season, it's kind of all the window, kind of in a way,
Yeah.
which is kind of like the television show and the comic book the most,
Yeah.
where people die all over the place in like the simplest of ways. It's like in a TV show, which I adore. They
that show.
basically build out the characters long enough that you feel bad when someone leaves. But in the comic book, you kind of can't even get invested enough. And all of a sudden, the people are just like, oh, that person's just dead. Like, in a horrific way, done, it's over.
Yeah.
Like, a la Game of Thrones. And so I don't like the comic books as much. I think the TV show is brilliant.
Yeah.
Because they take the source material and they make it their own. And they really flesh out those characters. Those actors are amazing. Everybody on that show. So.
Goodness. Yeah.
Now it's turning into a Walking Dead like little fan fest, but
my goodness,
Kinsey can't join us because she's never fucking watched the show. But what the fuck?
I watched some of it.
Yeah, you watched like us.
How can you just
How
watch
much?
some of it?
I watched the first two seasons.
Okay.
So the first season and the farmhouse, right? That's the first two. That's what I watched.
The farmhouse is the second season,
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
So I watched those. I don't know. It was a mix between being zombied out
Fine.
and part of me was.
The show isn't even about the zombies.
It isn't. It's about
but
people.
there's so many. And then another part of me, it's one of those shows. It's actually similar. It gives me a similar feeling to like The Office, where like it elevates my.
Explain.
No. Okay. So it gives me that like elevated stress level.
Okay.
That I can't.
Office gives you
The
that?
Office.
The Office does give me that.
I think this is
That
more about
might-
you than about the TV shows we're talking
So,
about.
all right, Office may have been a bad choice, but
Yes.
it gives me the same feeling.
Okay.
I'm just gonna drink
Stress.
my superior cola and judge you.
But it's the elevated stress level of just like, I can't handle what's going on.
That's okay. So minus the Office comment, I get what you mean about the stress because similar to Game of Thrones, which I think maybe talk about every episode of this podcast, how much I hate it, I despise it.
I don't really get that feeling in Game of Thrones. I think it's partly
Well-
because I don't care about it as much.
Here's the thing. I want to relate to you. Watch. So I don't like it because of the injustices in it. And every day I have kind of I'm a hypersensitive person, and I feel the weight of the world on my shoulders kind of every single day.
Oh.
And so watching that is like the worst thing in the world for me, like kryptonite or something where, oh, nothing's going to work out, and all these people that I care about are going to die all the time.
Nothing ever works out in Game of Thrones.
Right. A lot of things don't work out in life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a fucking tough racket out there. So the reason why I'm hypersensitive and can't deal with that show is because of that reason. And similar to if things are too stressful for certain shows and people are kind of overstressed, they don't want to deal with that. Like,
Yeah.
Because Walking Dead is stressful. Like,
It's real
no joke.
stressful.
It's real stressful. So I get that.
I kind of wanted to watch season 3 because of the way season 2 ended. And I probably should.
You will,
Really.
you
I probably
will,
should.
and you
Yeah.
will. Yeah. Because
It's really good.
And also, there's more justice in Walking Dead than there is in Game of Thrones by far. Like, there's characters who there's characters who die that you don't want to die, but I feel like there's people that are still with us in
Yeah.
this season, current season, and they're,
I think the biggest
You want them to
unanswered.
die?
No. I'm glad they're alive.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I got you.
yeah. So I'm saying there's more reason to watch.
All right. I probably should.
Yeah.
And I should
Annie.
play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to play the game. Like as Walking Dead. I don't think this is like a spoiler or anything, but the second season, you actually pick up as the little girl from the season 1.
Oh,
And,
okay.
Yeah, so you play entirely as the little 9-year-old girl. And my version of 9-year-old girl kicked ass.
Nice.
Everybody, like, she was like the team leader. Everybody was asking her questions on how to do stuff and who we should be friends with and stuff like that. I don't know if that's just how they wrote the game, but I just felt like, I was like, if I had this much power as a little 9-year-old girl, I would.
Yeah.
That would be
would
amazing.
love to be in a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It
That,
worked out well for you.
yeah. And she was so badass.
Well, that goes back to the idea that why we both like, it seems like the experimental or the different way to do a video game where it'd be fun if, your story, like Skyrim or something, was different than other people's.
Yeah.
It's different, but to a point, right? Because it's
Yeah.
choose your own adventure. They can't build out all the things.
Right.
But it was like procedural, or if there was something in there where like you had like your version of your story was like crazy different.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Because they do a little bit of that at the end of the
little
first season
bit,
of the
yeah.
video game. They show you versus the rest of the world, how they played the game.
Right.
And I think that's really cool that they showed that.
And they also, like, there's a different level of, like, how many people survived in the first one. I don't know if that was quite the same in the second one,
Mm-hmm.
but in the first one, it was just, like, you had the potential of saving this many people.
Right,
and
right.
This is what your
And this is
party
what you
looked
did.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I should play it. It's probably sort of cheap by now, too.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
assume I should just play it. And it's out on PS4
yeah.
now.
And Xbox
so.
One.
These
yeah.
are all reasons why you need to watch the show and play the game. Anywho.
There's
what-
a lot of stuff I got to do, you guys.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of things you're doing, what are the games you're playing right now?
well,
Or doing? Or no games?
I'm still playing Dragon Age.
Which is good.
because I'm basically trying to 100% it at this point, so it's kind of my life.
Okay.
I just got my last shard last night. Out of all, like, that's like the kind of one of the biggest collectibles, and so I'm pretty excited about that.
And you have to beat it because we're doing a spoiler cast.
We're doing a spoiler cast.
We're doing a spoiler cast for this game. Like, we're going to talk about the whole game after we beat it.
And I'm like the only one.
But she's the one who's doing 100% on the damn thing, and it's like, we're all done and waiting for her. So
I'm the person who's like, well, I don't want to beat it and then go back, because while I'm doing the 100%ing part, like, I mean, all the banter and what I'm working towards is the end of the game, and I don't like how in games when you go back to do stuff, then the banters and everything's going to be the same.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're like, we got to do this to beat the whatever. And I'm like, no, I already did that, you guys.
Yeah.
You were there. Like,
which goes to that, again, it goes to the idea of, the way that games could be built, where, like, say you did beat the game and then it changes so I want to keep playing the open world game, but it knows that I beat it. That'd be real cool.
That would be really cool, because I remember playing the Mass Effect DLC after I beat it, because I just played through it and I had a great time. And then I started buying the DLC, and then in one of the DLC things, it was like, we need this to beat the Reapers. I was like, no.
No, we don't.
No, we don't. Obviously.
There's a telegram at least. Come on, we beat it. Yeah.
So that's why this one, and I'm a really big fan of the whole Dragon Age series. Almost more so than like Mass Effect and things like that. Probably why I like Game of Thrones, actually, because I'm a really big medieval person. I love medieval anything.
Yeah.
So like, if I'm gonna 100% it, I'm gonna do it now. Because if I don't do it now, I'm not gonna do it.
Yep. And we were talking about it before the podcast started. I'm the same way, where I did beat it without 100%ing it, even close. And I went back.
And you missed out on stuff, and
I missed
so upset.
out on a couple, big moments because I wanted to beat the game. But I'm not going to go back. Like, it's just weird because I went back the next day and I was like, okay, I need to play more of this game because I really enjoyed it. Then I was like, this is all pointless. The ending is over. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be a really special game for me to go back and try to, collect all the collectibles and stuff.
Yeah. Which is one that you've done that with? Can you think of one that
Yeah, I think the last one, I'm not sure if I actually did 100%, but I did try quite a bit, was Tomb Raider.
The new Tomb Raider.
The new Tomb Raider.
So good.
It's good.
Oh my God, it was epic.
It was epic.
That, the end of that year was like the year of video games, because I got Tomb Raider right next to The Last of Us. And those were two of the best games I had ever played.
Yeah.
Like, I actually took off of work to play Tomb Raider because I knew it was going to be good.
Nice.
I did that for Dragon Age Inquisition. I took off a couple days of work.
Yeah. It was so worth it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the Tomb Raider was, and also because it came out of left field, we were like, what the fuck, really? Because I was like, Tomb Raider, I guess. And then I was like, wait, this is amazing. And the bow and arrow mechanics were so fun.
Good.
Yeah.
I could have played that whole game with the bow and arrow.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually bought it on the PS4 when they did that kind of remastered version.
I did that too. Not for the PS4. I got it for the Xbox One. Like, as soon as it came out on the Xbox One, I bought it again and played it again on high definition. It was,
there was the first time I went through it, lots of times I, again, jump right to try to get to the ending. So I feel like I went fast the last time. So I wanted to make sure I went in slow, because there's a ton of like optional caves you can go in that game. So
I found them, most of them.
Yeah, you 100% are over here.
Which I'm weird, because I'm usually not. Like,
this is a new thing for you.
Well, like she said, though, like the games you really love, you're going to do that.
Right.
You know?
It's kind of a great new world I've stumbled into. I was really obsessed with those shards in Dragon Age, too.
Yeah.
So I had to get them.
They're over with now. Yeah. Something we were talking about before the show started, I wanted to talk about that we're both kind of, that I'm started and you are about to start playing, is Saints Row 4. Again, off of the PS4, they put out the, in quotes, remastered.
The Re-Elected, which is basically Saints Row 4, but with, I guess, something better? I really don't know. It looks like the same game. I'm assuming they just ported it to, like, next-gen systems.
Next-gen systems, yeah.
And maybe, like, made it a little
up-res it in a way.
I don't know. They did something.
Almost identical to the original. But that's a fun game. It's ridiculous. It's over the top. I generally like a Grand Theft Auto that's more realistic. But I just thought I'd give it a try because it was like that and then Get Out of Hell, which is another expansion.
Oh, my God. I can't wait.
Which is a full game. So you don't even need any of these games. You can just play the Get Out of Hell expansion or the Re-Elected, and they're both separate games. But the Get Out of Hell, you supposedly go to hell. And then there's also a musical number, and it just seems really ridiculous.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm about to start that. But we were talking about Reelected, and basically Saints Row 4 in general is over the top and silly. But I was kind of enjoying it in the beginning because there's a lot of fun set pieces and really, really interesting humor that's not like Grand Theft Auto humor. It's like kind of funny. And so I'm getting into that, and at some point you get to...
Grand Theft Auto's not funny.
It isn't.
Really?
Well, no, it's by
funny
default.
at
It
times.
tries to... Like, I think it never really tries to be funny. Like, Saints Row is like, check this out. We're going to do something funny right now.
Yeah.
And that can be like South Park or something. You're like, that could be ridiculous, but it could also be really funny.
Yeah.
And Grand Theft Auto does things, I think, and it accidentally becomes funny, or I don't know. I just don't think it's super funny.
Wow.
Why? You think it's funny?
I do. I think maybe it's because I feel like people don't really think this way seriously. I've always thought of it as like, you know, criminals. It's like kind of making fun of like, you know, how people come to be criminals and how they sort of think about, you know, women and money and all of that stuff, which I thought was more of a joke. But if it's serious, if they're for cereal, then that's kind of terrifying.
See, that's the thing. I think they are mostly for cereal.
Yeah, see, that's kind of how... Actually, I kind of agree with Evie about Grand Theft Auto. Like, that's kind of how I feel about it. But I think it's more like, it's so seriously ridiculous that I think it's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's designed to be funny.
Yeah,
Right.
But it is funny. Like, I think Trevor, hilarious. Even at points, kind of sad. And kind of scary.
And awful. Yeah.
But at the same time, I just think his outrageousness, whether it be serious or funny or whatever the fuck, I don't care. It's funny to me.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
But that's different than what they designed it for.
Yeah.
So, and that's fine because, you know, a song and a movie, you know, especially a song, like a song could be designed for, you know, was written and produced a certain way, the way that the artist thought it should be, and that's what they were thinking of. And that has nothing to do with how I'm reading the song. You know, like it's rainy, I'm on the bus, and the song's talking to me in the way that I want it to talk to me. Right? It's not how the artist explained it. So the same can be said with video games. Like, you know, they had this idea, but it, you know, Grand Theft Auto, like, this is serious shit. And you're like, this is hilarious.
well, I think I think the difference, like, on a very, like, plain level, like, between Saints Row and Grand Theft Auto is that Grand Theft Auto doesn't necessarily try to be funny. Like, I think the ridiculous of their seriousness is funny.
Okay.
But Saints Row tries to be funny, and they're silly as shit, and I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the issue I have, though, now, as I'm playing this Reelected again, which is, at some point, this is not a spoiler, it pretty much happens in the beginning of the game, you go to a virtual reality world, where, like, some alien's like, hey, ha ha ha, you're in this virtual reality world. So it looks like the city that you would normally play in a Grand Theft Auto game, but it's, like, more, you know, alien or something.
And, like, in the 50s.
Oh, it starts out in the 50s, which is real fun.
Yeah.
But then it's not. It's like...
Make me some pancakes.
That's-
Like, oh, it's great.
That's some funny stuff. Again, so some early on in the game, there's some set pieces like that. She mentioned there's like the 1950s thing. But then it turns into a virtual reality that it's pretty much repetitive. Because then, nothing really matters. Like, what I love about games, and I'm guessing you do too, is the idea of a world and a living, breathing world and interesting things that can happen within it.
Yep.
And this virtual reality world has no consequence. Like, I could blow up the whole part of it, and it wouldn't matter because it's not real. So it being repetitive all of a sudden, after all these cool set pieces in the beginning, and it being virtual reality, I'm like, I'm done with this game.
Oh, were
Right?
you in a feedback Vindaloop?
I think I am.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so the
Yeah,
get
those
out
aren't fun.
that were not fun and
Okay.
repetitive and boring.
Yeah.
And in Get Out of Hell, at least I feel like something's at stake. Like, I'm going to go to hell and probably have to kill the devil? I don't know.
And date his daughter,
Oh, wait, is that a thing?
according to the commercial.
But see, I just like things with consequence, you know? So
Yeah.
I might stop Reelected. And you're not going to start it now because I just said that, or what?
I think I played some of the, like, original Saints Row 4. So I think I'm going to go straight for Get Out of Hell because I've been super waiting for that. So, and it kind of showcases Kinsey a little bit more than Saints Row 4 does.
Yeah, Kinsey is in the game. And there's a Kinsey right here.
I know, I'm so
Oh,
excited.
goodness.
And it's even KI instead
There
of
are
KE.
two of them.
It is, yeah. Also, didn't you say you had a conversation with that Kinsey?
I did. So
Kinsey to Kinsey.
The voice of Kinsey, Natalie Lander.
Oh my goodness, and you met her?
I'm gonna mess that up.
I'll look it up.
Anyways, I met her, and so it was basically like Kinsey and Kinsey.
Nice.
And it was funny because when I met her, because I did PR for Deep Silver, and she was like, oh my God, I saw your name on the email chain and I was really excited to meet you because your name's Kinsey. And I was like, you were excited to meet me? I was excited to meet you. And it was like this crazy like moment. And it was kind of amazing.
That's funny.
Nice.
We should put her on the podcast. Where is she?
Yeah.
Where's she from? Is she from here?
No, she's from California.
Oh.
She's a voice actress.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense to be here.
Yeah.
Kinsey to Kinsey. We'll email her. We'll see if we'll get her if she's in Seattle. It'll be fun.
Kinsey. She's adorable. Oh my God, I like talking to her so much.
It is Kinsey Lander, by the way, and I guess she was in a movie.
Natalie Lander?
That's what I said?
You said Kinsey Lander, but whatever.
I was thinking. Natalie Lander, she was in a movie called Material Girls, and she was also a voice in God of War 3.
Oh. What voice was she? Was she like...
In God of War 3?
Wait. 3. I haven't played that one yet. Okay.
Oh, then you wouldn't know my answer.
Yeah.
And she was in
mind.
Hannah Montana, actually.
What?
She's all up at this place. Yeah.
No way.
I've watched every episode of Hannah Montana.
It's about to get crazy up in
Who
here.
is she on Hannah Montana?
Hold on. Let me see. I can't believe I'm looking this up.
And I got a picture with her, and it was great.
You got a picture with somebody on
Annie. She was Annie on Hannah Montana.
Annie.
I don't know who Annie is.
Apparently, you missed one episode.
I know. It's the episode where she comes on and she goes, "Hey guys, I'm Annie."
Yeah.
And she leaves.
Useless.
Right. Well, so Saints Row is what I'm playing. Also, I want to tell you one more thing I'm playing. It's just ridiculous because I wanted to read you the review on Steam. So I was going through. I just got a new PC, and it's a touchscreen, fancy business thing.
It's fancy.
And I'm trying to find Steam games for it. And I just go to the new release section and just any new thing that seems kind of interesting, I download it. Well, this one was ridiculous, and I would not want to own this game, but now I do. But I had to because of the review, which I'll read you, and then I played it, and then I'll tell you how it was. It's ridiculous. It's a dating sim / match 3 game.
Okay.
I sort of really like dating sim games.
Right, but this is really dumb. Okay, so the name of the game is Hunie Pop. Is that your phone?
It's on airplane mode. I don't know why it's still doing things.
Come on.
I'm sorry.
Well, make it stop doing things.
It's my calendar. I don't
This
know. This
might have been more than once that this happened.
It's
on
warning
the
me I
podcast.
had a doctor appointment 3 hours ago. So
Did you? That's dangerous.
I went,
okay, good.
But it's reminding me now.
And back to what I was saying. So the game is called Hunie Pop. Huni. What does that mean? Honey Pot makes more sense.
Oh no, I saw an article about this, and I only read the tagline and saw the title of the game. Go.
So Honey Pot, but it's spelled Hunie.
Honey. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I guess so.
It's like, hey, honey.
Okay, so the general idea of the game is I'll tell you about the idea of the game. Here's a review, and this is why I downloaded it.
Okay.
This is the most ridiculous thing you might ever hear.
Okay.
At first you look, and I'm going to sound like the guy for some reason. No offense to the guy, but kind of offense. At first you look at this game and think you don't need it. Then slowly you realize how life would be without this game. This so glorious game. And you realize that if you don't immediately purchase it, you're going to feel bad about yourself for a long time until you finally cave in and get the game later. Maybe when it's not on sale because you need it so badly. That's the beginning.
Oh
my God.
I'm already sold.
See, right?
I know, right?
That was like really terrible, and I was like, but I had to download this game.
Yeah.
So here we go. It gets better. After I can never say this word. After euphorically waiting for the super small download, you finally get to the game itself, and you realize that it is the game of the year 2015 already. Forget those new games coming out like Dying Light and Evolve. You don't need them. All you need is this game in your life. All you need is Honey Pop. Now, hold on. One more. It gets bad. It's everything you could want in a game and more. And it has great character choices and loads of amusement for anyone who spends a bit of money on it. How hybrid the game is also helps to add to enjoyment. Definitely should get it Definitely should get it if you got money laying around.
Always.
Always. Seriously, go pick it up now, especially with the makers being so helpful to make the game more enjoyable for some. I'm reading it because it's not sentence. Here's the ending.
Why is enjoyable quoted?
Yeah. Enjoyable is quoted. Enjoyable for some.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know what any of
Enjoyable,
this means.
as in not enjoyable at all.
It is kind of, yeah.
Or too enjoyable.
I think that a lot of that's going on because these ladies are half dressed. Okay,
Well,
we'll
you
put
did
that
say
out
dating
there.
sim.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 11 out of 10. which is not a thing. Need more dating sim RPG puzzle games. Which, by the way, I heard also RPG in the description of it from the makers of it, and it's not RPG.
Oh.
It's,
I would like more RPG dating sims, personally.
Yeah, that...
Like Persona.
Right,
Yeah.
right. True RPGs. This is not a...
Yeah.
So here's the ending. Trust me, without this game, your life will never be complete. That is a fucking big-ass statement, all right?
Yeah.
You may finish life 99.9% of 99.9999%, but you'll never get to the goal of 100% if you ignore the best game on Steam, Game of the Year 2015, Honey Pop.
Did you play it?
Yes.
Wow.
It's not good. It's like real bad and sexist and terrible, and the actresses, you're like, what the fuck? This is real bad.
Surprised, frankly.
That was a glowing review.
It's an amazing review.
I thought this guy needed to make all of my life decisions for me. He seemed so confident about my life choices, where I'm not that confident about my life choices. So, yeah, he had me fooled.
He had us all fooled. Basically, the game is there's an angel, supposedly some mystical angel. It's just a girl in a lingerie or whatever. And she's like, I'm going to help you get dates because you're stupid and you can't get dates. And they treat you like you've never went out with anyone ever. And even like I tried the most confident thing and they're like, nice try. And so I finally...
You got to build up to it. Have you ever played a dating sim?
No, I have. But all the choices are bad for most of the time in the beginning. It's like there's nothing really good. And you meet different girls, and then you don't even do the match 3 enough. Like, if you really wanted it to be a match 3 dating sim, you do more match 3. But this game has a lot more just dialogue trees and terrible voice acting that you just want to punch all the ladies.
What's the price point on this game?
I don't even remember. I think it was cheap. Let me
You
look
had a lot of money laying around. So.
You have money laying around. Let's find out what it is.
Because this isn't the first time I've heard this game mentioned. I've heard it, like... just mentioned on like headlines and stuff.
Oh my gosh, it's so cute.
No, it isn't. It isn't even cute. It's a crazy.
Some of the screenshots I saw, they were very sort of like
it's $8.
like Atlas-y anime.
I know.
Kind of ish.
Believe me, it isn't, man. It isn't. This is so silly. Now, here's the biggest problem with it. If we want to talk about it for a game perspective for 2 seconds, you talk to the girls. They have mostly no clothes on.
They have no clothes on. Okay.
And when you talk to them, I think they have like the same 2 actresses or voice actors for the whole game, And one's like a terrible monster bitch, and they're like, oh, she's just a bitch. But like, you should still try to go on a date with her. And I'm like, no,
she's a bitch.
She's terrible. And then when you talk to them, there's dialogue trees, but at some point they get hungry. And I'm like, what, are you a virtual pet?
You have to feed them.
Yeah. And I was like, I guess I'll give you a burger. And she's like, oh, I'm much better now. I'm like, get your own food.
Weird.
Yeah, weird. And then you have to give them
That's
gifts.
Really creepy.
So you give them gifts and food and drinks. And they're like, are you trying to get me drunk? And I'm like, I guess not. I'm out of here.
Can I be in this game? Can someone give me food and gifts and drinks?
I know, right? Oh, that's what you're taking away. You're like, listen, this is an interesting premise you have here, Carlos. You're saying I can just
like all 3 of those
talk
things.
to guys and get food and drink?
Well, will you trade the whole clothing?
Yeah, will you trade not having much
that's
clothing?
The thing.
That's a no deal.
Yeah.
But I will take the food.
All right, let's get off this game. Nice. I just had to read it for the review, and then I played it because of the review. I was like, this has to be at least somewhat interesting to like this nerdy guy in his basement. He was having fun with it. But it's terrible.
He was having air quotes fun.
But he couldn't even have that quotes fun, which is an interesting sentence. Because like Leisure Suit Larry or other games that when I was growing up, there was games where like, oh, I might get some. I get it. But this is not. This is girls in the same exact position. They're not even animated, not moving. It's the same girl, the drawing, right?
Yeah.
Not much clothing and just sitting there. It's not like you're working towards some
goal.
goal.
What else do you need?
Well, I guess not for that guy.
Yeah.
It's 100% of his life.
Right.
But,
just standing there.
But
you know what game would blow his mind?
Leisure Suit Larry?
Actually. Yeah. And then you made me forget the other one.
Oh.
The guy game. That's the one. The one that got pulled from the shelves.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, but that game's real terrible because you have to guess how stupid people
You
are.
would probably hate there's a lot of reasons to hate the indie arcade. But towards the end of Xbox Indie Arcade, was the land of dating sim. Like that's what you play, and it's exactly that.
Well, you just
many times.
Yeah,
that and Minecraft many times. Which that is a good move because oh my gosh, Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but yeah, dating sim not so much. So I think what Kinsey said is right. I'm an RPG/dating sim person. I'm okay with that.
Have you played Persona?
Yeah, of course.
Any of the Personas?
Yeah. But this is not. This is. We talked about it too much.
God, I love Persona.
That's the answer.
Let's just keep talking about
Let's keep it tight. Yeah. Anything else you're playing before we leave to go to the news section?
I just play a lot of Minecraft.
You do?
It's my escape. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. Last episode we had Sean, a friend of ours at Big Fish, who I work with, talk about Skylanders because me and Atticus didn't understand Skylanders. He talked for a long time and explained it to us, and I still might not understand it. I get it's basically like an action beat-em-up game, and you buy toys like amiibos or all those things, and they make your characters. So it's a lot of collectible thing. Mm-hmm. But I still don't know if it's a game for me. Minecraft is similar, where I love exploration and building and creating things that we both share in common. But for some reason, I could never get into the Minecraft.
I'm starting to feel like I'm like all those like Skylanders, Disney Infinity, and Minecraft, and like a few others in that genre. I think I'm just getting too old for them. I'm an old person, and I get angry.
Well, that's what I might be my excuse too. But before we go to news, tell me why you love it so much. And you're not an old person.
I don't think so.
So you have that not going against you.
Yeah.
or old mind. But why do you like it so much?
Oh my goodness. So like things that sound like not typical of a video game happen in Minecraft. Like you can walk up to somebody or a group of people that are having a Minecraft conversation, and it sounds like they really had these things happen to them because it's not a scripted. There's nothing about it that's scripted.
Right.
There's nothing about it. It's just this giant dynamic system that's based off of all of these really small, simple moving pieces. So it feels like it feels like another world. You go in there and it's like you don't really have too much of a goal. You just, you have these sort of sub goals that you make for yourself because, some creeper came up and blew the side of your house away. And you're just like, well, if only I could design a trap so that when the creepers come by, the trap will open and then they'll fall into a pit of lava and die.
Yeah.
And so then you just spend all your time for days designing this ridiculous trap that's made out of all of these like circuits and OR gates and all of that stuff. And then you're just like, I've run out of resources for this thing. And it's just like, if only I had this amazing enchanted diamond pickaxe so that I could not
run out next time.
Yeah.
So it's a lot faster. Of only if I kind of.
If only I could do this. So yeah, I think the last thing I built like last week was a sugarcane farm because I was trying to build the ultimate enchantment table, and those take so many bookshelves to make. In order to have the bookshelves, you have to create a lot of books, which means you have to make a lot of paper, and the paper comes from the sugarcane that you grow. And so I was like, well, I need massive amounts of sugarcane right now.
Right.
And so I built this ultimate awesome sugarcane farm where when the sugarcane grows, there are these pistons behind the sugarcane that will knock the sugarcane out, the newly grown sugarcane, into this little collectible set of hoppers that feed into a storage unit. And so this thing is going as long as I'm within range of this particular area in the world. You
built a factory.
I did.
You straight up built a sugarcane factory.
I built a sugarcane factory. I build lots and lots of factories.
I love the building element of it, and I understand the interaction element because I think that's why a lot of games like Rust and a lot of the survival zombie games do well, because it's this world where you don't know what's going to happen. The human element is the part of the equation that the game developers didn't plan for.
Yeah.
So you're like, wait, why is he doing that? Oh, they're building something. No, that thing's dead,
Yeah.
So I get that part of it. But I feel like a lot of younger people are playing Minecraft, maybe more predominantly. And so, I don't want to hear them, so I definitely shut off any sort of voice kind of stuff. But I feel like, don't they all just grief people? Like, aren't they all just really mean?
Younger people I tend not to play with because, like, I don't know. I've had a couple of experiences where they just sort of follow me around and they're just like asking a bunch of questions all the time, and it's just really annoying. And they'll dig a hole or a pit somewhere when I don't want them to build a pit. It's like they have no.
Sounds
respect.
like real kids.
Yeah.
Get out of there! Get out of there! Get out of there!
Don't respect my boundaries,
Yeah.
so I'm just like, you know what? You can't be in my world.
Yeah.
But like, I think a lot of the fun and sort of my memorable moments were accidental griefings. So there was one time while I was in school where I went to work, which was the lab, and immediately pulled up Minecraft because back then work and play were indistinguishable.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
I know. It still sounds good to me.
So I go to work, pull up Minecraft, and notice that my house is on fire. Yeah, it was awful. It was a beautiful, beautiful house, and it was in the middle of being in flames. So it was like it was a recent thing, and somebody had like done it and then immediately left. And so it was just like somebody would like set my house on fire and then left the game. What is going on?
Yeah.
I get this email from a colleague that I had just introduced the game to, and he was like, I am so sorry. Because, okay, so here's what he had been trying to do. There are wolves in the game, and you can tame these wolves and have dogs. And I had a mess of dogs. I had like 22 dogs, tamed wolves. And he was like, well, you have so many wolves that I actually we can't spawn any new untamed wolves for me to have. So I figured I'd just go to your house, kill off a couple of the wolves.
Oh, that's a huge assumption right there.
Yes, so that more of them could spawn. The problem was if he had just hit the wolves or attacked them and tried to kill them, they all would have turned against him and killed him. So he was like, I had to make it try to make it seem like an accident. So I put a block of lava on your floor, which was carpet. And the lava sparked out of control and set the entire house aflame. And he was
why
like,
we don't play with lava, kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't set your
That's
house
the
on fire.
lesson. Don't do that. And also,
house on fire.
don't just go decide that you're going to go kill someone's dog.
kill somebody's dog.
That's not a good idea. To start. Yeah.
awful.
Listen, I know how I can get a dog. I'll go kill that person's dog.
And burn down your house.
Yeah, burn you in the process.
Yeah.
See that? But I love that stuff. So I don't know.
I loved it. Like that's always my go-to story with Minecraft now.
Yeah. Well, and those are the kind of stories that happen in Skyrim, right? And that's why a lot of us love Skyrim so much.
I do love Skyrim.
And still do, because of those kind of, we don't know about those eventualities that are going to happen.
Yeah.
I always tell the story. I won't tell it again, but there's developer stories of that game of real weird shit happening, that they didn't plan for, and it's just amazing. So I love that. I still don't know. I don't know why. There's Terraria and there's Starbound. There's so many other ones that are doing things like that now too that I can dabble with.
Just try Minecraft.
I mean, I have.
Yeah,
I have.
You might need somebody to show you around. Like, because my first experience with it, it was unlike anything I had tried before, and so I was very lost as to how to progress. So my big issue was that I was trying to learn how to do everything myself without looking at walkthroughs and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
That's how I played it, actually. I played it myself with my boyfriend. We didn't play it together. We played it separate times because we were playing on the 360.
Yeah.
So, he built a castle, and I was like, well, your castle's better than my box house, so I guess I'll make a bed in your house. And,
nice.
It just, I don't know. I really like objectives.
Yeah.
And I love menus. And, I
and
like all these
not,
things that
right.
it doesn't.
That's not
really
what it's
happen.
about.
But
yeah.
I think there's a difference, though, because, for me, I actually might start this tonight, now that we're talking about these types of games, because I do love these kind of interesting, and it's kind of a new thing, like Rust and H1Z1 that just came out. These kind of experimental, hey, we're just going to this world, and, you've got to fend for yourself and figure it out. Tonight I might start The Forest, which I've been wanting to start for a long time.
I want to watch somebody play that because
You can watch me right after this.
I think it's going to be scary.
It's going to be scary.
So,
but it's also coming out for PlayStation, and I've been kind of waiting because I want to use a controller. But I think the precision will probably help if I use mouse. Anyways, the point is, like Kinsey said, I like that world where, again, I don't need to be menus or my handheld or whatever, and I like the idea of figuring things out and even having someone show me the ropes or whatever. But the world had to be more interesting to me. We were just talking about this also before the podcast. I am also in a really weird place with games where not much is satisfying me.
you're in a game rut.
I'm in a game rut where I feel like I'm not getting something that I need. That Skyrim gave me, that Fallout 3 gave me, that Dragon Age just recently gave me. But anyways, I need a lot for some reason. And so the forest is more of a place where, there's definitely a storyline that's going on, and there's kind of an end result that's real interesting, but you probably can play the game after. And so that's for me why I think I don't get it as much, is that I need that to want to keep playing.
I see.
Does that make sense? But I see the beautifulness in the chaos there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
Here's my last question about that. So the game you can play on your own, like you have your own world and no one ever visits it, and then there's like servers, right? Is that how it works? Yeah.
Yep.
And there's no main server for that, right? It's it's just little shards and people go to each other's things.
So people download the server app and then run it.
So then how do people find people's worlds?
You can share your IP address.
Is there like a hub where it goes, hey, here's a bunch of places you can go? Does it do that?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not really built into the Minecraft. So I know that there's realms. I've never tried using it, but apparently that has that type of solution in it.
Yeah, that would be interesting to me, because I feel like, what was the game we just did? Oh, crap. Oh, that game I talked about last episode, which is called Rising World. It was a survival game, Minecraft game, with better graphics. Yeah. And I went in there, and there was like 2 people in the main room, the main server room. But at least they showed me the different, places that I could go, and I could see how many people were in each one. I think that'd be helpful for me.
Yeah, I think the first time I played Minecraft, it just kind of dropped me off wherever. You know what I mean? When I started playing it.
Yeah.
And like me and my boyfriend were in the same world. But I never
needed to be playing together.
Like
that, it's such a it's such a bonding experience.
Yeah, like the way the 360 one worked, because like I don't even know if we used it to its correct potential, but it seemed like we couldn't play at the same time. Like you can't do split screen basically.
No,
really.
I don't think you can you?
You can't do split screen.
Oh, that's
so we had to play it separate.
Yeah.
So he would build his castle,
and then
sure?
I'll check right
I'm not 100% sure, but like, and then I would come home and I'm like, "Oh, you built a castle? Did you see my house?" And he's like, like,
yeah,
because I'm not the creative type. Like he's he's a graphic designer, so like.
See, yeah,
I'm not that person.
You needed to be playing together, because then you start to give each other tasks. You start to become like hunter-gatherer, and then whenever you decide that that's like too feminist or anti-feminist or whatever, you're like, oh, I'm gonna be the hunter this time. But it's like, it's a fun way of just like, oh, I'm gonna decorate the house, you can go off and get us some food to eat.
See, I could be the hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
But
it's awesome.
But he could build a house.
I love it. Yeah, build a house, and you can just like, you can decorate the house with like, I like to use brick. So like brick is a hard resource to actually make, because you have to go find clay, which is off somewhere in like little puddles, and there's only a small amount of it. Then you have to bake the clay and turn it into bricks and all of that stuff, and then by the end of it you make this beautiful like brick pavement that you can have, and it just makes your house just look so much nicer.
Nice.
Yeah, and so it's just stuff like that where it's just like, people, the server that we had while I was in school, it's actually the same server I use now. I just moved it to my home. But while I was in school, there were several of the people in the lab that I played with, and one was like a bread maker / baker, and all he did was like make bread and cakes. And then like there's several of us that would go off hunting and go like cave diving and spelunking into giant caves and digging up resources.
Right.
And it's so much fun.
Well, I think my problem is it's not fun to play by yourself.
And I think that the whole idea of server and sharing your world is to make it obviously a multiplayer experience.
Right.
It says you can actually do split screen as long as you turn the resolution up to be 720p or higher.
Oh, weird.
I know, that's a weird requirement.
On 360?
It says on 360 split screen mode does require a monitor with 720 output, and you'll need to configure the 360 accordingly. Settings, system, console setting, display, make sure it's 720p or higher.
Weird.
And then you can push start on your other controller, and you might be able to do it that way, I guess.
Oh, that's
it's weird that it isn't.
All right.
It's not super easy to say, but anyway, Minecraft is a thing.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing to some.
Maybe we'll try it again.
Maybe
Yeah,
try
you
it
should
again.
try it again. Try it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And invite
Everything
me.
together. Invite you, yeah. And also tell me about your world because I want to go there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to take a quick break, listen to some music, get another drink, and then we'll talk about news when we come right back.
Woo.
And we're going to talk about news now.
News.
News.
Is that Morse code? I don't know. So this is the first thing that we actually were just talking about before the podcast that wasn't on my list of stuff, but happened, I think, today or yesterday. There was a video on PBS's YouTube channel.
Today-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, January 20th says the video was published, but the video on the YouTube on PBS was, "Are video games too long?" And it's a question mark. I know.
The answer is fucking no.
No.
And that we're done. Next news story.
Next question, next news article.
I think-
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think game lengths have their own place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some games are 8 hours, and it was fantastic, and I
Right.
loved it, And then other games are 120 hours, and I loved every second of it.
Yeah. It
doesn't matter.
It's a non-issue.
It's a non-issue.
But for some reason...
People should never complain about games being too long, because then people will shorten them, and I don't want them to.
Right.
Yeah. But for some reason, Polygon picked up that video and wrote their own article on it, and kind of going along with that thought. And I was like, why are you even writing about this? This is not a thing. Because, again, a movie, are we going to say movie? It's just not... Oh, they were comparing it to, it's longer than movies. Well, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, but a movie's like $15 and 2 hours of my time, whereas a game is $60 and I love it for 100 hours. You know what I mean?
It's just a different art form.
It's a different thing, and it should never be compared.
No.
Right. And with people's attention spans getting shorter, why would we ever complain about something where we have to pay attention for longer?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a non-issue, but before we leave that issue, this all led to this website called howlongtobeat.com. It's a thing.
Which shouldn't be about video games. It should be about, air quote, something else.
Enjoyment, air quote, enjoyment out of dating sims. That's what it should be about.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I still don't understand how it works, but please, let's not go into it. Howlongtobeat.com about video games literally takes games like, Bioshock and says the main story is 12 hours, but main story plus extras is 15. Completionist is 25. I actually like the completionist part of this website now that I'm thinking about it. But the other thing, come on. Everybody's going to play a game differently. They all have different speeds. Also, this should not be part of the story where our game's too long.
I think when I beat Bioshock Infinite, too, I beat the main story in 15 or 16 hours. But I'm also the person who looks at every corner because I don't want to be like, oh, there's a treasure chest there, or there's a thing there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm that person. So.
Yeah. Okay, we all agree that's a non-issue, so people stop talking about it.
That's silly.
A big event that happened today, and today being Wednesday the 21st, is Microsoft did a huge event about Windows 10 and a bunch of other things.
Was there a Windows 9, by the way?
Yeah, there wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm still weirded out by that. There was 8.1, which I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like...
9s are
fuck
bad
it.
numbers. They're unlucky.
Is there really, though?
I don't think
you're just
so.
making that-
I'm making that up.
Yeah, it's not 13, but they are actually going to, this is just non-gaming, but they're going to give everybody who has Windows 8 and 7 free 10. You just get the upgrade, which, those are sometimes like $150 or whatever. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
That's good.
Here's some other cool things. One, this is actually cool because there's a couple things that are maybe not cool. They're looking to stream from PC to Xbox One. But then they're also looking to do Xbox One to Surface tablets. Mm-hmm. So similar to the Wii U does now, where you can play the game on your tablet. I think something similar to that, where if you have a Surface tablet, we're going to let you take your Xbox One game and put it down there.
But the cool thing about the Wii U is that the whole package is $250. Whereas if you want to buy an Xbox One and a Surface, that's $1,200.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on the flip side, that thing only does, that little device only does like Wii U games.
That's true.
So
That's true.
It
doesn't do everything else.
That's all it does, and it seems
it's a fraction of the cost.
Yeah, well, obviously. I mean, I don't know. I was never really sold on the Wii U. Actually, I'm starting to change my tune this year. Just because like a whole mess of lineup of amazing games.
Yep.
Bayonetta 2.
Yep.
What?
See, I love the Wii U.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's definitely getting back on.
Did you love it
some
from
of
the
our...
beginning though? Like, there was
I
nothing-
bought it when the Wind Waker edition came out, so not
Okay.
too far into its lifetime. And I played Mario Kart, which was actually
Amazing.
fantastic.
Yep.
Okay.
The Wii U kind of became my Pushmo World machine because I absolutely love Pushmo World. And when it came out on the Wii U, and you can like then with the Wii U update at the newest one at the time when Pushmo came out, you could do a quick start from the gamepad. So I would just like wake up on like a Saturday morning, pour a cup of coffee, and put on some Pushmo, and I was like, "This is a good day."
Which is like you basically had a DS in your hand, a 3DS. Or something.
really big one.
A really big one, yeah.
Yeah.
I think obviously, like you said, though, this year, they're finally kicking up a notch. Well, actually, the end of last year and the beginning of this year.
Beta to
exactly.
Captain Toad.
Captain Toad and stuff like that. And of course, Zelda's coming supposedly this year, which is my desktop wallpaper on my PC because I'm so excited about it. So, yeah, I think so. But that being said,
And I guess Smash Brothers.
yeah,
that game.
People
It's
like
funny
that.
because everyone loves it, and I don't really give a shit about Smash Brothers. So it's like,
I think I'm the same.
Oh,
I don't
and
think I
there's
care.
Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I don't think I care either.
I loved it when it came out on the very first one on the 64. When that one came out, I was all about it.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it was okay that I was bad at fighting games because it was like a new thing. I could beat some people occasionally.
But now people are pro
But now
about
people
that
are
game.
pro at it, and
Yeah.
I'm not good at it anymore.
They're like, oh, a beginner Smash player. And you're like, beginner Smash player?
I've been
Yeah.
playing since, technically, I've been playing since like day one.
Yeah.
Not to go on a Smash tangent, but I think I might try that DS version just because there's more of a kind of RPG or like you build up your character, which I heard, and that seems more interesting to me than just the preset characters. But
Yeah.
anywho, the idea that you would take Xbox One games and put them to your tablet is interesting because it has some of that same value that the Wii U can do now, but better graphics. We're talking about Xbox One games on your fucking tablet. That's cool. The other thing that's interesting is the Windows... What was that?
I said amazing.
Oh, amazing. I was like, amazing. Windows 10 PC stuff to your Xbox One sounds like Steam Big Picture mode, kind of, on your TV, right? And are they kind of...
But with Twitter and Facebook, maybe.
Yeah, it's
What?
all
Oh my
social
god!
and Xbox services. I don't know. Yeah. And Zune. I'm just kidding.
Zune?
Yeah.
Oh man!
Blast from the past.
I don't think that's a thing anymore.
When I worked at Game Crazy, I remember this meeting where it was, if anyone remembers Game Crazy,
I do.
they were inside of Hollywood Videos. Mm-hmm. I worked at them for a long time.
I don't even know what that is. Hollywood.
Whoa.
Wait. Is that like Blockbuster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. I'm on the same page.
Yes, but Hollywood. And inside of those were Game Crazies, which were video game retail places.
Yeah.
Not rental, retail, which people didn't understand. But anyways, I remember at one point they were like, "We're going to carry Zunes, people." And I was like,
No.
great.
I guess.
I sold one like my entire time working there, and that was when it was on sale. Like,
To its credit, I always say it was a sexy looking little device.
No, that's a lie.
Really?
That is just a
I think
bold-faced lie.
I think in my memory it was sexy.
No, it's
no?
awful brown. It looked
Well,
like
not the brown one. I think I had a.
there was different
I
colors.
think there was a black one that was
Yeah.
kind of cool looking.
My boyfriend at
colors
the
were just
time,
not.
when
Okay.
I was working at Game Crazy, he was like, "The Zune's gonna take off," and I was like, "Well, I got this iPod here, and it's pretty cool." And we're not dating anymore.
I was waiting for that punchline.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
That's good. Another thing they announced is HoloLens. HoloLens?
I saw that.
What?
It's reality hologram headset for Windows 10. Basically like a super Google Glass, but
yeah.
it's like your full-on visor. So
Saw a
mixture
picture
of...
of those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
they're
look
pretty
like-
big.
Yeah.
You could be an even bigger glass hole.
Oh, hello.
They look pretty fancy though.
Closer to the virtual reality Oculus stuff, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Closer to that, where you can like see the Windows 10 menu on your table that you're looking at and like do it that way. I know it's different, but
You should watch the video just to see all the, technical ideas that they think they can do. But, like in the articles that I've been reading, they also sold us on the Kinect, and that shit does not come with the Xbox anymore. So maybe take this with a grain of salt because
Yeah.
they literally were showing some Kinect demos. I remember back in the day going like, fuck, that's going to happen?
Well, when they first showed us some of the Kinect demos, they were also showing us the Project
What, Milo?
blank. Yeah.
Oh, I love that Milo.
You know,
Project
Oh,
Milo.
Milo's up in our business right there.
Yeah.
I wanted
that-
Milo to have
what-
that.
that was
a
amazing.
lie.
And
Yeah.
then we got Just Dance, and I was like, all right.
Yeah.
We all want Milo. I mean, all of us sitting at the table want Milo.
Yes.
Right? Like that was going to be.
I was all about it.
That girl in that demo was like, I'm going to hand a piece of paper to Milo and he's going to
just
take
like,
it. And he's like, that's that paper. And I was like, what? I'm still like,
Yeah.
what? Because it's not around.
I'm still waiting for Milo. Yeah.
Milo, by the way, I heard he died.
Oh,
yeah.
Milo.
Debbie Downer.
Oh.
And it wasn't quick either.
Oh, Milo.
Yeah.
I just made that up. A couple other things. Xbox app coming to Windows 10. I don't think anyone cares about that.
Isn't there already an Xbox app on Windows 8?
I think there's Xbox apps everywhere. Fable Legends is coming to PC.
Yeah, and they have crossplay.
Meh. Windows 10 will let you stream Xbox One games to ND Windows. I just said that.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
update. Nothing. Okay. Anywho, that's some of the Microsoft stuff. The other thing was, I already mentioned it, the hologram headset. Okay, so that's what happened. None of us care quite yet.
We'll see if I care.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't own an Xbox One or a Surface, and I'm incredibly poor. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
And I just really like the term glass hole.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's good. I like it. Other news, Elder Scrolls is finally going to be, not finally, but it's going to be subscription free.
Well, there's a premium edition.
Thank you. I was going to
subscription.
get to that. Why don't you tell the audience?
It's sort of subscription free. So you can play, like, after you buy the hardware, which is $60, on consoles. It's consoles and PC, right?
PC first is going to go free, and then Xbox One and PlayStation 4 next.
Yeah, when it comes out.
Yeah, it comes out.
But there's also the premium subscription, which I'm not entirely. Does it say what that entails?
I'm going to
Because
look that up right now. Yeah.
that's all I heard is that it's free to play, but
But. Yeah, so the free to play is the part that at least a lot of us were waiting for, at least to go like, I'm going to try it out. It's like a glorified demo or a.
I was in the beta. I hope it
Right.
got better.
It did.
Although my Khajiit that I made, because I'm kind of obsessed with Elder Scrolls, my Khajiit was adorable. And okay, part one of this and then part two. So part one was I was a little bit upset that they started making the Khajiits. You could be like a lion, a tiger, or a house cat kind of thing. Where I was like, no, a Khajiit, they always look like really awesome and sort of ethnic-y. And like I really liked how Khajiits looked. But then they started doing their other thing in Elder Scrolls Online, and I was like, whatever. But then I made a really adorable calico house cat as my Khajiit.
Mm-hmm.
And she was adorable. But then I got into the world and I couldn't steal anything, and I was done.
Oh, right, because it's not like a traditional,
Elder Scrolls game.
Elder Scrolls
it's just
game.
in the Elder Scrolls world.
Yeah.
But I got to go to Elsewhere, which was kind of amazing because we talked about this a couple episodes ago, but they announced, like, sort of announced the next Elder Scrolls game, and it takes place in the Black Marsh, which is not Elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little bit upset about that because I'm kind of a Khajiit fanatic over here.
I can tell. There's a lot of Khajiit information. Well, here's the thing, is that I think, if you think about it going in, and I will do this too when I start playing it, probably waiting for PS4, is that you think of it as an MMO first.
It's an MMO with an
And
Elder
then it
Scrolls
has Elder
skin.
Scrolls skin, but also more than a skin, the fact, like you said, you'll be able to go to different places in that world. So if you're like a person who really enjoys the lore and all that kind of stuff, you'll definitely get more of that.
I do enjoy the lore.
Well, you'll get it. I feel like you'll get it, but it just the way that it plays, the way that you can't steal things, it's not a traditional like Elder Scrolls game. So if you think,
but I want to go everywhere.
I know.
Ah.
You just want the new Elder Scrolls game, like we all do.
Basically, that's exactly what I want. And the Black Marsh is cool, but we'll see. I mean, I do like Argonians. I never play as them.
So it's called ESO Plus for the premium version.
Oh, there's that yet.
And it's being that's what it's being called. Gives subscribers free access to new downloadable adventure areas, which non-subscribing players will have to purchase separately.
Yeah, but
It's like a season pass.
But I kind of wonder though, what's the cost like differential? Like, is it like $10 a month for the subscription, and then the DLC is like $50, $40, $30? Like, how worth it is this?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really hard to make it so that actually purchasing a subscription, it comes out paying less than somebody that just buys it all in bulk and they're done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't really know how, because like even a season pass though, you pay like $40 and
Right.
you get all the seasons of whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But this is
There's
like
a fixed cost, but there's an advantage.
Right.
Whereas this is not a fixed cost. Like, you can keep paying for this subscription for years.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It's like-
traditional MMOs, you know,
Yeah.
EverQuest and World of Warcraft. You're like,
Well,
that's just something that comes out of my bill every,
Yeah.
my paycheck.
did you guys see with the World of Warcraft? They're letting they're giving a statue to 10-year subscribers,
Adorable.
and it's kind of adorable. And I was actually seeing some people talking about it, and they're like, I kind of added it up, and World of Warcraft has been, $1,800, $2,000, and it's worth it. And I was like, what? Like,
Well, to some people, and
I
how
can't. I don't know. I can't fathom that personally. I played Warcraft for a little while. I played on a free server. Granted, a free server is probably not as good as a real server, but it's my little brother's server, so it was fun. But I just didn't get the appeal, and I don't think I would spend that much money on it.
Yeah, I purposely avoided World of Warcraft because I knew, I'm easily sucked into alternate worlds where, I can just go for hours without any real goal, but just go exploring and talking to people and doing quests and stuff. Yeah. I was like, I am in the middle of trying to do a PhD, and this will definitely derail it by 2 years if I get involved.
Yeah.
So,
I started with Ultima Online. I did play that a lot. I still love that world of the randomness of it because it was just, you didn't know what to expect. Similar to your Minecraft story, it was, top down, third person little characters, whatever. But it felt like a world where you didn't know what the hell was going to happen. Like all of a sudden, a red and a blue dragon are walking by with a naked guy, and what the fuck's that all about? But you knew that naked guy. If anybody's listening who's played Ultima Online, the naked guy was the strongest guy in the world because as someone who in Ultima Online who had no clothes on, man, he could fuck you up with just by punching you. So anybody you saw naked, you were like, do not go near that person. That person doesn't need armor. That's how strong he is.
We still think that today. Don't go near the naked guy.
I know. In general, it's just a good idea anyhow.
is that what that
If you're in a major city and you see a naked guy, probably don't go near him.
Is that what that episode of, I know South Park, it was on World of Warcraft, but that's probably where that idea came from. That episode of South Park where they're just there's this naked guy that's in World of Warcraft, and he just comes and just hits them all in one.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's it. So there you go.
All right.
Tying it all together. That's where it comes from.
History.
That's where it
there
comes
we go.
from. But
Nice.
I do love that kind of thing. But at the same time, I can go in and come out of that. I don't need it. And I think to your point of maybe why people said $1,800 worth it, and I'm sure a lot more money than that, is because if they were meeting with their crew, which is just their friends somewhere that they didn't get to see or whatever, or just random people they met online, like a la Second Life, it was a part of their life. It's like Skyping.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something
that's
that
true.
I didn't get from it, but I feel like that's what people might get.
People could probably say the same thing as they play, WoW every night with their friends.
Yeah.
And if I go out to a bar every night with my friends,
Right.
over 10 years, I'm probably going to spend more than $1,800
Oh,
at that
shit,
bar.
yeah.
easy,
Yeah.
in a month.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
our friends are our World of Warcraft. What?
What?
Yeah.
World of
That
Warcraft
got
is
real.
cheaper.
I see it.
This got real all of a sudden. Next story, Atari ET documentary gets February 2nd on demand release.
Oh, the ET story.
Have you seen it yet?
No, but
Because it's on Xbox for
okay.
free. Do you have Xbox?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. So the Xbox video service they have, we mentioned this on the podcast a couple of times, but I guess they're just giving this documentary for free. Because remember, they were going to do videos. Like Xbox was going to be like, we're going to make videos. And no, we're not. But they released this one. So you can get it, I think, on Xbox. But now it's going to be on demand, too.
Yeah. I just love telling the story of E.T. to people, anyone that will listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
so
kind of
I would
amazing.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
I was listening to watching everybody live tweet the event. Like Chris Kohler was there, a couple other people that I know were there for the unveiling. So it was kind of fun to follow them on Twitter and everything when it was live. And I think when that was happening, I was even at some sort of gaming event, and I'm like, this is all amazing. This is a great day.
Nice.
It's you haven't seen that though, have you? The ET thing?
Yeah. Okay,
We all gotta get going
Oh
on
my
it.
gosh, we should have an ET night. Like, I have Atari 2600. We can play ET afterwards.
Afterwards?
And
Oh,
let's
this
do
sounds
Let's
like a
Play.
good night.
We should play it before, because then we're just going to get really frustrated when we fall in holes. And then we're like, let's just watch the movie.
You know
Yeah.
that someone patched that game, right?
What?
Yeah, so on the internet somewhere, there's a ROM of it that someone patched and basically fixed what was wrong with it, which would have made it a lot better.
I'm going to say, like, everything? Yeah.
No, the main thing...
So they made a new game?
No.
Like
the main thing is the falling in holes, right? That's what really bothers you in that game. If you replay it, I mean, you probably have at some point. Like if you're falling in holes every few seconds, that's not fun.
Yeah.
So he patched it so the barrier to where you fall in is smaller. So you can actually have more time to walk around and do the things that you're supposed to do in the game. It's not the best thing in the world still, but it makes it a lot better.
Yeah. I hated that little dude that would come and just throw you in that little jail that has no walls, and he'd just put you right back in there. Like,
you're like, I just got out of here.
Walk off the screen, and there he is again. It's like, yep, you're going back in this useless jail. Like, this is terrible.
He's on a forever loop to just be like, I'm here again.
I'm here.
Well, another thing that is a video is Powers is coming in March to PlayStation. It's their first original TV series. This was mentioned in E3, and people were just like, I guess. Like, it was like the end of the...
I don't know what this Powers is.
It's a TV show about a guy who I guess was a superhero and then isn't. Now he's a detective or something. And there's a trailer, and I'll put the link in the show notes.
You're like a retired superhero?
I think so, yeah.
Now he's a detective. He must not have been a very good superhero. Like... I just can't imagine.
You should be able to retire on being a superhero.
Let me read it. Maybe I'm missing something.
How did he not make all the money?
It was taken from a comic book. So Powers is a comic book. I think it's Vertigo DC. I can't remember. Anyway, so it's an adaptation. Icon Comics graphic novel Powers, and it's going to be out in March. I bring it up because, like E.T., was going to be the beginning of Microsoft doing videos for their, like Netflix is doing their own videos, right? House of Cards, etc.
Yeah.
Microsoft was going to do that. Now they're not. PlayStation still is, according to this, because this is a whole series they're doing on PlayStation, so on PSN. So the first 3 of 10 episodes will arrive on PSN in March, on March 10th. And you get to watch 3 at a time. So not the whole season, but 3.
That's like right by PAX East.
Oh, that's right. Good timing. The pilot will be free for everyone at PlayStation.com/powers. Why does it say free for everyone? Does that mean it's cost money after a while? That doesn't make sense. Maybe it's PlayStation Plus they're talking about.
I have it.
Anyways.
That's all right.
I don't have another story. Just watch the trailer. I think it looked like it was a detective who used to be a superhero, and now he's encountering other evil villains and things like that. Yeah. Thoughts? Care? Nobody cares?
He sounds like a crappy hero.
Yeah.
You can't get past that.
If he can't cut it as a superhero, why would he cut it as a detective?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Isn't a superhero basically a detective with Detective Plus?
I think maybe someone took his powers away, I'm thinking.
Oh, that's sad.
That just goes from frustrating to sad.
Yeah.
Like, I've been neutered.
Yeah, of my powers.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch that, whatever, it's a thing. Lastly, and this is truly, is I was going to mention this last episode. Dragon Age Inquisition players have already killed more than 2.6 million dragons.
And I have 2 left. Yeah! I'm kind of excited.
And then just silence. We're like, good job, Kinsey.
Good job.
Yeah.
But whatever. I killed the level 23 Highland Ravager, so the other ones are going to be a fucking walk in the park, and it's going to be amazing because I'm going to have
I think dragons
final
are
2 dragons.
just misunderstood. And if you took the time to talk to the dragons,
they didn't give me the chance. If
It's
I could have
true.
befriended them,
so you just killed them.
If I could have befriended them and brought them to the side of the Inquisition,
Yeah.
mean, a la Game of Thrones,
a la How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah. I never saw that movie.
What the bitch?
I like dragons.
Yeah, you'll really like them.
You are going to love these movies. I'm not the guy who goes, hey, guys, I'm watching this Pixar movie. But this movie, both of them are great.
Yeah?
They're pretty
There's
pretty
a little
good.
emotional moments in them, too.
Yeah.
I like dragons.
Yeah, it's kind of epic, too. Like, I mean, dude loses his leg.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
He needs that.
I know. Those are kind of important but it's also kind of like just desserts. Like he earned it.
Everything weird or good and bad. Yeah, it all kind of it all evens out. Yeah. Anywho.
Yeah. Karma. They go into karma in that movie. Yeah.
I'll have to see that.
It's good.
The animated series on Saturday mornings is pretty good too.
There's a series?
Wait, I don't know about that.
Yeah. There's a How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna check that out. Well, it can't be like. I did love the graphics though in those movies because they're so intense and so beautiful.
I normally don't wake up early enough for Saturday morning cartoons anymore.
I would download it.
I always feel like they're way earlier than they used to be.
I just don't like the fact that they're not changing. Like Pokemon still comes on Saturday mornings.
Really?
Like that's what I watched when I was like 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it's crazy. Like that show is still coming on, although it's a bit different. Like
I was big into Pokemon.
Yeah.
There's more adult themes now.
They're different. Like,
is there?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
It seems to me that Team Rocket is a little more competent.
Okay.
So
really?
That's a really interesting.
They got their shit together?
Yeah. It's
but I don't want them to have their shit together.
I know, right?
That's like 90s villain things that they didn't have their
James.
Oh, I loved it.
Team Rocket. Yeah. Okay.
I was Jessie for her Halloween one year, and it was great.
See, I don't know what you guys are talking about because I grew up with Hanna-Barbera because I'm a old person.
Well, I grew up with Hanna-Barbera too. I watched a lot of Top Cat.
Yeah, and Heathcliff.
Heathcliff as well. Top Cat was my favorite though.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody else but Top Cat. Even though looking back, Top Cat was probably really terrible and sexist and everything.
Yeah.
But I liked him when I was little.
Yeah. There's a lot of those cartoons, especially in this like late 70s, early 80s. You're like, oh man, that's
rough.
That's rough. You should be telling that to kids.
Yeah, but I liked it then.
I also liked He-Man, and I went back to rewatch He-Man.
Oh, I loved He-Man.
I still can't. I'm like, really?
Have you seen the Christmas special? Because I watched that over Christmas this year, and it was still amazing.
I don't think I did.
But I watched She-Ra a lot, too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Powerful woman.
These are old shows.
Yeah. She's like, you guys are real old.
I wouldn't have guessed. I thought we were all around the same age, but,
Well, I keep thinking that Kinsey's... well, that sounds going to sound bad, actually.
What?
I was going to say, I keep thinking Kinsey's around my age, but then you're much younger.
Are we just going to say what our ages are?
People know, I think, of mine, but...
Yeah.
You're 40 years young.
I'm 40 years young.
Whoa.
Isn't that weird?
Serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun to do that. And people go like, one
you
girl...
don't look it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I get that sometimes. And carded. This one lady, when I told her, she freaked out so much, she almost started crying.
What?
She was like laugh crying. And I was like, stop what you're doing. I'm sorry that I'm young looking. Please stop cry laughing. Yeah, Kinsey's like crazy younger than me. But we don't say your age on that.
I turned 30 this year.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm older than you.
Really?
Yeah, I'm 31.
I'm the youngest. What?
What?
I watched She-Ra.
You watched She-Ra somehow. Okay. Yeah.
And Fraggle Rock.
Oh, Fraggle Rock's
And
good.
Popples. What? There's so many good shows.
Yeah, I do remember Fraggle
Welcome
Rock.
to the
Like
cartoon
you have a memory that goes much further back than mine. Like 'cause I remember watching Fraggle Rock. I don't remember anything about what it was about, but I remember my little 5-year-old mind just being just so happy to watch it.
It was happy.
Yeah,
I remember those little crystals that those guys were making, and then the Fraggles would eat them, and I'd be like, so these little guys were like always construction guys.
Yeah.
We're making stuff all around the place, and they were miniature little people. I don't know what the fuck they were.
They're Fraggles.
Were they Fraggles?
Yeah.
No, the puppets themselves were Fraggles.
Yeah.
The little miniature guys were like builders.
I don't know what they are.
Anyways, there's like little builders, or like teeny little guys, and they were building things out of I guess it's like crystal stuff. But the Fraggles liked eating it. And this is in my mind. Tell me if I'm wrong. And then they would like just waste all their hard work because they'd be working on this little like bridge or something, and the Fraggles would eat the crystals. And they'd be like, I guess we got to make that bridge again.
So Fraggles are dicks?
I think so.
Who live in garbage is basically what you're telling me.
Oh, wait, then there's those scary guys outside, though. The big guys?
Yeah, don't go outside. That's why the Fraggles live in that weird basement.
Yeah.
yeah.
And welcome to a Video Game Break podcast where we talk about Fraggles.
Yeah.
We're done, I think.
So.
Evie, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you for enlightening me on Minecraft a little bit more.
Yeah, you need it.
She's like, shit, you need it.
It's the most enjoyable, and if you don't have it, your life will be 99.99%.
Thank you for bringing it back to that.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Your life is not complete, Carlos.
Yep.
Until that guy, by the way, God bless his heart. Whatever. I just love that.
I wanted
Yeah.
buy him a drink.
I do too.
Yeah.
And I want him
He
to
might
tell
need
me about all the games that he's played in his life. Because I really want to know how good they all are.
Here's the thing. We're not making fun of you at all. If you want to be on the podcast, please email us.
Call me.
Please tweet us.
I will
Yeah.
buy you several drinks.
Whoa, that's
I will play Honey Pop with you. Yeah, it'll be good.
even though I don't think it's a 2-player experience, but
Yeah.
yes, anyway.
We'll play it together. We will win the affection
We
of
will.
all of those women. It will be amazing.
I don't want affection from most of those women.
Time
tell
to
you
get
that
the
much.
ladies with
Yeah.
what's his butt.
Yeah, great. That's what we'll call it.
Yep.
So, Evie, where are you on the internet where people find you?
Let's see. Right now, eviemakesgames.com is a website you can go to.
Do it.
Yeah. Vergeofbrilliance.com is coming up soon, so give me a little bit of time there, maybe
Okay.
a month or two. Yeah.
Twitters.
Twitter's Parasite Evie. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
so
think
good.
about
It's a good
that.
game, too.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
It was a really good game. It was good.
Kinsey's on the internet.
You can find me on the internet at Kinsilla, Kinszilla. I'm also on the YouTubes at Metal Jesus Rocks. So youtube.com/Metal Jesus Rocks. Sure, you'll find it.
Why do you
It's
not
fine.
know that?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't
okay.
know.
Continue.
I'm there at times, and yeah,
We're both guests.
we're both guests.
I'm doing a
Exactly.
TurboGrafx one on the middle of February. I don't know the date yet.
Nice.
So TurboGrafx is one of my favorite systems of all time. And we're doing a shooter special.
That's
so
awesome.
all my favorite shooter games, including some from Japan.
There's kind of some amazing shooters on the TurboGrafx.
Yeah,
so.
it was known for those. It's like
Yeah.
a ton of them. There's some really great ones on the PC Engine as well we're going to be talking about. So I'll be on that YouTube as well. And then you are on this podcast, of course.
Of course.
And sometimes you visit our website, but most of the time not.
Oh, I shared one thing on Facebook. Did you see it?
On our Facebook?
Yeah,
No, I didn't.
I did it. I did it as an admin.
I didn't see it.
What?
When was
I
it?
did. I don't know.
Oh, I'll look it up. Where she means is you can go to facebook.com/videogamebreak, and it's like our website, but it's on Facebook, and we say funny things about games and,
And you
post
should
things.
probably like us and tell all of your friends.
You could do those things.
We're also on the Twitters at Video Game Break, and you should follow us there and tell all your friends.
Yep, and there's one more thing you could do. You can go to the website, videogamebreak.net, and it's a website. And it's not updated a lot right now just because I'm really busy, but it's going to be more soon. And there's also a lot of fun people writing articles and posts and stuff like that, not just me. So there's stuff there all the time. And our podcast is always there. So
And tell all your friends.
And tell all your friends. And we're on iTunes and Stitcher. So I think we got
Woohoo.
enough.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Subscribe to everything.
Please
Do all the
please
things.
do.
Subscribe.
And have a good night.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.